Hello and a very warm welcome to this explainer. I'm so glad you're here. If you're over 50 and, maybe starting to think about downsizing, you are absolutely in the right place. It is completely normal to feel a bit anxious about selling the family home, especially when the whole idea of renting can just feel so daunting. So today, we're going to use some clear, reassuring math to bust a very common myth about renting so you can step into your next chapter feeling totally confident. Don't throw your money away. Gosh, we've all heard that one from well-meaning family members, haven't we? A homeowner we know, named Carol, heard this exact phrase from her brother right after she sold her home and moved into an apartment. It's repeated so often it almost sounds like a fact. But let's take a deep breath and look at what that phrase actually means in today's world. Section 1. The hidden reality of homeownership costs. Decades ago, the idea that renting was throwing money away actually made a lot of sense. But today, the steady stream of ongoing ownership costs, things like insurance, property taxes, and upkeep, have climbed significantly. And the truth is, they're almost always ignored during those well-meaning family conversations. Let's look at the modern picture. Right now, the median rent in the United States sits around $1,422 a month. But if you compare that to a typical homeowner, when you combine a median mortgage, insurance, property taxes, and maintenance, homeownership can easily total over $3,200 a month. The old rules of thumb, well, they just simply don't apply anymore. Now, you might be thinking, but my mortgage is completely paid off. And that's wonderful. But even without a mortgage, owning a home is never truly free. Between property taxes, insurance, and maintenance, your ongoing costs can still easily run well over $1,000 every single month. It just doesn't arrive as one highly visible check the way rent does. Section 2. The invisible cost maintenance. This right here is the biggest financial wild card that we as homeowners tend to underestimate. When you own the home, every broken pipe is your responsibility. But when you rent, your landlord absorbs the shock of those sudden repair bills, and that gives your monthly budget a really beautiful sense of predictability. To put some real numbers to this, Fannie Mae actually recommends budgeting between 1 to 4% of your home's total value every single year, just for repairs and upkeep. And if you're living in an older home, you're much more likely to land at the higher end of that range. So, on a $400,000 home, that 1 to 4% means you need to budget an invisible $4,000 to $16,000 annually. When you compare the calm reality of a fixed rent check to the massive stress of a $16,000 maintenance year, you quickly begin to see the incredible peace of mind that renting can offer. Let's think back to Carol for a second. A couple of years before selling, she had to replace her roof, completely without warning. When she actually sat down and ran the math later, she realized that single roof repair cost her more than 8 months of her new rent combined. It's a pretty stark reminder of how quickly homeownership can chip away at your nest egg. Section 3, Carol's story by the numbers. So after her brother's warning, Carol decided to stop relying on inherited advice. She took a deep breath, sat down, and ran her own personal numbers to see exactly where she stood. The gap completely surprised her. Her old property taxes, insurance, and maintenance on the family home had been adding up to nearly $2,900 a month. Her beautiful, low-maintenance new apartment, it came to just $1,500. She absolutely wasn't throwing money away. She was saving significantly every single month. Carol's journey was honestly just so liberating. Selling her home turned all that locked-up equity into usable, liquid cash. By choosing to rent, she shifted all the maintenance burdens right over to her landlord. And finally, she redirected her freed-up equity into safe investments. Within a year, the growth on her investments nearly covered her rent entirely. How amazing is that? Section 4. The value of flexibility. Let's step away from the spreadsheets for just a moment, because ultimately, this is about your life. Renting offers lifestyle dividends that owning rarely can. It gives you the ultimate freedom to change your mind without the heavy stress of listing, showing, and closing on a property. Think about what having liquid equity and absolute freedom from maintenance can actually do for you. You could help a grandchild with college, comfortably cover an unexpected healthcare cost, or, spend your winters somewhere a bit warmer. Renting gives you the keys to test out an entirely new community before committing, and it gives you total breathing room in your budget. Section 5. Running your own numbers. A decision this big deserves way more than just a catchy phrase passed down at family dinners, right? It deserves an honest, thoughtful look at your unique picture. And the wonderful news here is you do not need a finance background to see the truth. Here is a really simple framework you can use. Step 1, just add up your current total costs, your property taxes, insurance, and a realistic maintenance budget. Step 2, compare that to realistic local rents in your area. And step 3, factor in what you could actually do with the equity freed up by a sale. Real numbers totally change the conversation. Now, it's also really important to consider your personal timeline. None of this means that renting always wins. If you plan to stay put for many, many years and building further equity is your primary goal, staying a homeowner might still be the sensible choice. It's really all about aligning your housing with your actual lived timeline. Section 6. Making your next move. The biggest takeaway here is that renting after selling your home is absolutely not a failure, and it is definitely not throwing money away. It's a highly strategic option. Deciding what is best simply comes down to your real timeline, your real numbers, and your vision for your golden years. If you are weighing these choices right now, please know you do not have to figure this out alone. I want to warmly invite you to explore our free resource library and the Homeowners 50+ page at your own pace for practical, supportive guidance. We are here for you as a trusted advisor with absolutely no pressure whatsoever. Just as a brief reminder, this explainer is strictly for educational purposes. Because your situation is beautifully unique to you, I always recommend consulting with a qualified CPA or estate attorney to look at your specific circumstances before making any major home sale decisions. I want to leave you with this one thought. Instead of worrying about throwing money away, ask yourself this: what could your freed up equity do for your next chapter? You are entirely capable of making the very best choice for your life based on real math, not myths. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer today, and I wish you so much clarity and confidence ahead.